Good morning, Yarny friends. It's Jamie from Redbird Stitches here with you. I just want to thank you for coming by today. I know you guys are super busy, being it's the holiday times, but I really want to say thank you for stopping by and spending just a few minutes with me today. You can find me on Instagram at Redbird Stitches, as well as in my Etsy shop. I will go ahead and put the links in the description box, so if you want to check out my page, that'd be awesome. But first of all, I'd like to show you some of my finished, well, actually it's one of the only finished objects this week. It's my beautiful lightning feather poncho by Susan Kennedy. And this is the third time I've made this poncho. I was actually wearing my original last week in the video, but when I made it, I wear a size large, so I made a size large, extra large, thinking it would be fine. But it was just a little too big. It was too much fabric underneath my arms. It was too wide. And as you can see, this is it's a boxy style poncho, but it was just too much fabric. So I went ahead and made one for somebody that wanted to commission one. And I made that one a size medium, like a small medium. And which I was glad to make because I could, put it up to myself and say, yes, this is a better size. So I made that one, and my customer is very happy and pleased with it. And so then I just went ahead and started another one for myself in the size that was more appropriate for me. The turquoise yarn that I used is by Cascade Yarns, and it's a superwash wool. It's so nice and soft, and it's a number 4 yarn. And the gray that I used is by Universal Yarns. I got it on sale during Black Friday through Premier Yarns. And this is a DK weight, so it is a bit smaller, but I didn't find that it was too much of a difference. And the stitches, were comparable. The other thing that I noticed after I had done probably 15 rows is I was using a 5.5 millimeter hook, and I really should have been using a 5, but I wasn't going to go back and tear it out. No way. It's not that important. It's a poncho for myself. It's fine the way it came out. I love the way it flows. It gave it some nice ease, and it's just a really comfortable. I live in Central Florida, so we have all kinds of weather. Our weather's bipolar. It's cool in the morning, it gets hot around noontime, and then it, goes back to cool in the evening. So being that it's short sleeved and it has some air to it, it's very comfortable. It's a nice layer. And I just love the Southwest. The Southwest is so beautiful. If you've ever been there and traveled, it's just majestic. It's wide open spaces. The colors are amazing. The deserts, the foliage is so different than what I'm used to here. And Susan's book is just phenomenal. She has so many great patterns. Just to show you this beautiful, it's a blanket that I wanna try next. Sorry, it's taking me a minute to find it. Oh, this is the wall hanging. It's called the Raider Ridge wall hanging. Look how gorgeous that is with the colors that she uses. I mean, just stunning. And I love the little ones down here too. So, and her book goes like from easy to intermediate skill level. She's on, this is the blanket. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. It's Vallecito. It's the Vallecito blanket, and Vallecito is in Colorado. It's just beautiful. She does amazing work. Like I said, the skill level goes from easy to intermediate to more advanced. But this was my first time doing this style of tapestry, I guess is what it's called. So yeah, I was really pleased with the outcome, and I just love all the colors that all Southwest carries. The other thing I wanted to share with you is my work in progress. It's called a shawlette, and it's by Jennifer at Fiberflux. And this is the yarn ball, I guess you could call it. I love the colors. It's rainbowy. You know, this is what it's looking like right now. So you start, sorry. So the bottom is like a flat bottom, okay? And then it works its way up into like a wider V. And it's meant to go like right here over your neck, just a little bit over your back. And so the yarn that I have, I bought it from Hobby Lobby. It's by Yarn Bee, and it's a hand-dyed yarn. And how many, I'm trying to see, oh, here are my glasses. Just a second here. It's 400 yards. So it's enough to make a little, she calls it a shawlette. The pattern is the Summer Rose Wrap. And so, like I said, I like how the colors, it's like a confetti to me. And so I just love it with, I mean, just even with black, it just brightens up whatever you're wearing. And it's light, it's squishy, and it's a fingering weight yarn. So it's gonna take me a little bit to make it, but I'm enjoying it. And this is a hook I got, and it's so cool. It's a double-ended hook. And I got it when I was in Portugal this past summer. I bought some yarn there. And it's a number 3 and a number 4. And that is, oops, sorry. That's the brand. I can go ahead and put the name of the brand in the description box as well. But it was so handy to have both sizes and one tiny hook to travel with. So that was like one of my best finds when I was on vacation in Portugal. It was actually in May. We were there in May. I love to travel. Travel's like one of my favorite things. And I try so hard when I'm out to buy yarn from local, you know, because there's just so much more variety. In Europe, we have beautiful yarn here, and there's a lot of beautiful, you know, dyers, and but being out there, it's just like it's like a gift you bring home, and you have, you know, you have something you made from there, you know, so it's a souvenir that lasts forever, you know. So I brought home a beautiful cotton. I'll have to show you guys it in my next video. But I really loved it, and that hook was so cool to have both ends in one little hook. And I was like, yes, I needed it, because I was making a neckerchief out of some cotton that I bought there. So yeah, it was really pretty cool. But I wanted to talk about WIPS a little bit. So I tend to only want to have one WIP going. And so I see so many people with multiple WIPs, and, you know, I have such a struggle with making sure that it's not that I can't finish a project. I feel like I have to work on that project until it is done. And then I allow myself to investigate another WIP or to start another WIP. And I don't know if that's good or bad. I've never been one to not finish things that I've started, but I feel like I'm so driven to finishing it and wanting it done that I feel like if I had multiple WIPs going, I wouldn't be able to finish them. I don't know. So I wanted to see what you're, you know, do you only do one WIP at a time? If you were like me and only did one WIP at a time, and now you've changed and you have multiple WIPs, is there a benefit to it? What did you find as a benefit? And does it make you overwhelmed? That's my thing too, is I don't want to feel overwhelmed with my projects. So so yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you guys also. So write it in the comments what you feel is, you know, what your journey is with as far as WIPs, and have you migrated to multiple WIPs? And so anyway, do you find it more satisfying to have multiple ones, or what? So what are the pros and cons to that? So I have a few projects coming up that I need to work on. I have a great niece that's due in March. So I want to do a baby blanket for her, of course. And I was thinking of doing a little headband and some matching booties. So I'm looking forward to that. And of course, I think I'm going to do a signature pink. You know, pink is just, I just love pink. And so, so that's a project that's going to be coming up. And then I also want to start the sock kit that I bought. This is the Premier sock kit that I bought. Actually, I bought two. So, but these are like the more wintry colors. This is the colors on the back. And so, I read I read the instructions over, kind of got a feel for what the project is going to entail. I'm kind of intimidated, honestly. But I really want to start making socks. I think they're cool. You know, I love wacky colors, and plus I think it's a really good learning, especially in fine yarn as well. You know, it's a lot of work. Excuse me, but I really want to start working on socks too. I have started to knit. I haven't finished a complete project in knitting. I've just been working on the stitches and trying to learn how to hold the the needles, you know, so I'm a work in progress on that one. But I really love knitting. Like I said in my last video, my grandmother, she was just a phenomenal knitter. And so I definitely need to work on my skill on that. So, but my ultimate goal is to be able to knit some gorgeous socks. So we'll see. And then I also want to start a cardigan for myself. I finished the cardigan. It's not a cardigan. I finished a pullover sweater. I think I showed it to you guys. Maybe I didn't show it to you. I'll have to look. But anyway, that was my first knitted pullover for an adult. I've done baby clothes, like I've done a baby pullover sweater and I've done a baby cardigan. But now it's time to get my own cardigan going. So I've been picking out, I like MJ's Off the Hook. I like her patterns, and I love Brianna Kay. She also does great, easy work, and that's who I did my first pullover adult cardigan from, was Brianna Kay Designs. And because she worked from cuff up the sleeve, the front panel, back, and then down the other sleeve. So it was like one continuous project, and then all you had to do was sew up, you know, from the cuff all the way down through the waist. And it was really well written, and of course you can follow along with her tutorials on YouTube. So that's probably who I'm going to use again for either Brianna or MJ, because for both of those it's very beginner friendly, especially like when you're starting to make wearables and things like that. So I do need a little help with that. And Susan also, for this poncho, she also has a full tutorial on that as well. So like I can read patterns, but it's always nice to, you know, dial in and be able to see an actual person, you know, giving you some direction on how to do things if you have questions or whatnot. They're always really good about that. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was, it's the end of the year. It's the end of 2025. It went by blasted fast for me anyway. There were some good things this year for me and some challenges that we worked through. But looking at the year, we have some goals. You know, I wanted to say that 2024 was my very first ever craft show where I showed my work. So that was a big year. And but this year's been even bigger. I participated in multiple craft shows showing my wearables and my stuffies, and it's so crazy. I mean, it feels so good when you see somebody walk away with the purchase that they made of your item and either are wearing it or, you know, holding, you know, little kid holding the chicken in his hands, you know, so excited that he has a new stuffy. it's just it's very nice to see that. It makes you feel good. Like, yeah, I can make things, that people enjoy. It's not about the money. It's about being able to create something, follow a pattern, and have it turn out to be where somebody else is going to enjoy your work. It's self-satisfying, honestly. So like I said, I participated in multiple craft shows. I was able to enhance my skills in wearables and using different fibers and learning how the fibers, the best ways to steam the fiber, have it, have enough ease. I learned about that, all those great things that make your projects better. And so that was good. I also was able to start an Etsy shop. I never even honestly thought about an Etsy shop in 2024. I was just so focused and excited to make enough things to be able to sustain a 6-week craft show, my very first one. So that was my goal. And so now I have an Etsy shop open. I've had just a few sales. It's going to take time. I have run a little sale before Christmas, and so I'm planning on running another one after Christmas. And I also started my relationship with you guys on the YouTube streets, so that's exciting. That's huge. And I know I have a ton to learn on editing and videos, and but I'm gonna learn as I go. And I appreciate the people that stopped last week to watch my video. I mean, there was 18 of you. I get it, brand new. So maybe I'll get 19 this week, and maybe instead of just 1 subscriber, I'll get 2 subscribers. Who knows? The sky's the limit. I'm just trying my best out here, and I just want to say thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. So I've been thinking about the goals for 2026, and I want to get to a place where I can, have a schedule as far as what days I'm going to be on YouTube. And I want to be able to maybe show, I don't know for sure, like a tutorial, but like show maybe myself with a pattern, showing my crochet as I go along, maybe some of that, videoing that. My husband bought me a spinning wheel. It's an antique. It's absolutely beautiful. And I want to learn spinning, so I want to make some of my own fibers and use them myself. So I have that as a goal. That is huge. That's huge for me. So I've been starting to learn a little by little, watching some videos, got some books from the library, just good stuff like that. And I think one of my biggest goals is just to enjoy the ride. And I'm fortunate that I have the time to be able to dedicate to my passion, and all things fiber and yarn. Last year, when we went to visit San Antonio, I was able to visit the Alamo, and part of the Alamo area, it's set up like period times. And so there was a woman there, and she was spinning fiber, and I'm sure I've seen it in the past, as a younger person, or, when I've gone to Williamsburg, Virginia, I've seen it. But then when I saw it this past year in front of me, after I'd been crocheting, I'm learning to knit, I'm learning to, all about different animals, what fibers they give. And I'm watching this woman sit there and spin, and it just meant so much more to me. So I really want to try my hand at spinning and see where I can go with that. And then, like I said, I want to enjoy the ride. So yeah, those are my goals. I mean, if I come up with something else, I'll put it down. But for right now, I think that's big enough. I think that's enough to try and to have those few things, because I don't want to be overwhelmed and not be able to achieve the goals, but I also want something to work towards and look forward to. But lastly, I just want to say thank you very much for coming by today and using some of your precious time to sit down and be my friend. So again, I appreciate you. Have a great day, and the people and patterns that I mentioned in this video, I'll go ahead and put in the description box, and stop by and say hi. Take care, guys.